he's not the guy for ESPN doing that anymore. He's not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shams
Now,
is the guy now.
why do you think that is? You think because NBA players look at Stephen A. different now?
No, because I think he been stopped covering him a long time ago. Once First Take started taking off and that became a big thing on ESPN, he moved more into that role, I think,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No. I agree, but I think the general feeling around the NBA for the players about Stephen A. has changed as well.
Well, it's always been like that. It's always been like that. Players never really liked him, even when he was covering the league.
I think, but I think the way he then came out and personally attacked some players, questioning the integrity of some players, players may not get along, but I still think they look at it as, it's a fraternity. And, the stance he took up with KD a few years ago, where he threatened to expose whatever. He just did that with Jaylen Brown not too long ago, man. I think it's like a consensus around the league, so to speak. Like, man, it's best just to keep this guy. You know what I'm saying? His opinion. You know what I mean? And they're making it more of a fact to go out there and wait, especially when some of them got platforms to say, man, that's just his opinion. It's not fact.
Yeah. So. I think when it comes to people like Stephen A. Smith, I think it's more about not their position, it's more about their credibility. And so my point is, if you Stephen A. Smith and you are the face of the network, why you can't get a sit down interview with LeBron James? You know what I mean? Like that's a good look for you, and that's what people would expect from you as somebody like you the head of the network. But that went to Pat McAfee, right? And so that's why I say that Pat McAfee would have more credibility because he can go and he will get that type of interview. Like if I'm Stephen A. Smith and I'm sitting there and I'm just saying stuff more so hot takes so I can get I can cause people to talk and stuff like that. That's beneath somebody who is like, you don't see anchors usually on anchors like on TV shows never used to do that.
I'm gonna tell you case in point, who right there in the house with him. Excuse me, Clayton. You go ahead. I'll tell you somebody that's right there in the house with him. Michael Wilbon. Michael Wilbon is, he's looked at as an elder statesman, he's respected, around the league and things like that. And that's a perfect example that I think is the opposite of Stephen A. But go ahead, Clay. Go ahead. I didn't mean to step on you.
I was just going to say, but LeBron did that out of spite, though. That wasn't a ESPN call. That was a LeBron call.
Well,
he did that to slight Stephen A.
But it don't matter though. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so LeBron is one person, right? But
yeah.
Like, who else is coming to? Like people are going sitting down with the other guy, Pat McAfee.
I mean, I'm not a Stephen A. apologist by no means. I'm not a fan of his or nothing, but he gets real big interviews. He sits down with the commissioner from the NFL. He sat down with Jerry Jones. He gets big interviews. I mean,
and I think you're hitting on part of the issue here, Clayton, is that ESPN's doing their homework. They are seeing where Stephen A. gets traction with the viewers. And he gets much more traction with the viewers talking NFL and being an NFL insider than some of the other stuff. That's my take on it.
Yeah, he's not looked at the same way in NFL circles as he is with NBA.
I don't know.
Because in the NBA, he's trying to walk around like he's a player. Like he's a player. That's how he walks around. You know what I'm saying? In Madison Square Garden, like he's a player. He don't necessarily do that with the NFL players. It's like he knows it's a difference. It's like he knows and understands it's a difference.
Well, NFL players take exception to him as well now.
Right.
Let's not get that twisted.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So you can sit down. you can sit down with management and you can sit down with owners and stuff like that, because they, like, you never said anything to throw them under the bus. Like, everything you said about Jerry Jones and Dana White and all that stuff has been complimentary, right? And it's been for the most part, it's a situation where they, both of those guys, your friend. No matter what they say, you know what I mean? You know, they're good people, and you co-signing for them. So it's a different tone when you talk to them, the guys.
Well, he actually drags Jerry Jones all the time. And Jerry Jones confronted him about it. That's just an understanding. Jerry Jones is one of them guys that he don't care about that kind of stuff. He's just about promoting his brand and his team. So he does Jerry Jones.
I think that's a stick, though, Clayton. I really do. And Jerry Jones is that's the perfect. So Jerry Jones, like, man, long as I'm relevant, long as you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, you understand, I don't care. So I think that's a stick, man. I think, he do that. They this. And Jerry Jones, like, hey, man, long as you got Dallas Cowboy name in your mouth, I don't care. Yeah.
And look at some of the big stars, the big athletes that come on First Take. They come on there too now. Jalen Brunson did it after the championship. He has Lamar Jackson was on there. He has all kinds of big people on that show. LeBron was the guy that slighted him. KD sat down with him. Over the years, man, there's been a lot of high-profile athletes that go to First Take to sit down with him. Jaylen Brown just did a thing with him last year, sat down with him and stuff. So,
I just think the last couple years that climate has changed with how, especially, the players, particularly the NBA players, how they view Stephen A. I think the landscape changed a little bit.
Well, AI still love him.
oh yeah. Yeah, I think too. I think
I'm just
why are you laughing, Clayton? Why you like you saying?
No, just because AI tell you. When AI was promoting his book, he went right to First Take. He loves Stephen A. That's my big brother. This, that, and
But right now, I'm an AI fan. We all are. But how relevant is AI now? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know AI loving Stephen A. I don't know if that's like speaks to like how everybody else view him. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you got some that still looked at him. You know what I'm saying? And in good gracious. And things like that, but I just think the overall landscape, man, I don't think they look at Stephen A. like he was once looked at.
No, I'm agreeing with you guys. I'm just saying it's not new. They've been looking at him like that for a long time. So I'm agreeing with you. It just ain't new. And I don't think that's why he's not getting sit downs. I think he's in a different position now. That's all.
Yeah, and I think and part of the reason I think that what's the guy Ryan Clark, right? Ryan Clark. Part of the reason I think that what these networks or mostly I think ESPN, what they trying to do is like people who are grifting, whether you grift to the left or you grift to the right, is expensive for the league or expensive for their network, right? And I just take, for instance, like college football. When you talk about college football, there's no need to grift with college football like LSU or a team like Alabama, because that's your fan base. You don't need to be with your fan base. You don't need to be polarizing. It's almost like bidding against yourself. And that's how I look at it with ESPN. You already have your fan base. So if you come on and you give an honest take about the football game or a basketball game or whatever sporting event that you talking about, then that's it. You know what I mean? You don't have to be so polarizing. And I think that's causing ESPN is causing them viewers when they are polarizing like that, in my opinion. And
I don't know.
The reason I think it's causing them is because part of the reason I think is because of social media. When you have people who have smaller platforms who are giving honest, legitimate takes, like people are going to they're going to tend to go towards those platforms, right? And so social media is now competing with ESPN, and now you got people like, all right, if I'm gonna get an honest conversation and an honest take, then I'm gonna go there. It don't really matter to me if they're a bigger platform, you know. Who cares if it's inside information? If inside information is it has an agenda, right? So that's it. It really don't matter. Because that's just like sitting in a barbershop. You sitting in a barbershop and you talking to somebody and they just saying stuff just to get a rise out of you. After a while, you're going to stop talking to them. You're like, come on, man, this dude really, either he don't know what he's talking about or he just, you know, he just want to have some conversation. You cheating yourself if you talking to somebody about sports and it's a one-way conversation. You can't gain anything from him because he don't have a legitimate knowledge. He just talking just to, you know, just to try to get a rise out of you.
Well, you believe that was Ryan Clark?
Well, no. Well, I think that my point is, if you grifting, whether you grift to the left or you grift to the right, it's costly for the network. The network don't really have to grift because they have their set fan base, right? So it's almost like bidding against yourself, right? You know, so the controversy, I think, is more costly. I think people like and appreciate the guy Pat McAfee more so than they do some of the other guys who just like Pat McAfee. You just gonna get his honest opinion.
Yeah, I don't think ESPN likes Pat McAfee, but they can't ignore they can't ignore his success, and they can't ignore the connections he can make to the viewers. That's why he's popular. He's easier to connect. It's easy for him to connect with players. It's easy for him to connect with all athletes, and he's a blue collar kind of guy that's going to connect with your average fan. That's why he's successful, and that's why he has the access that he does. Mm-hmm. I think if ESPN had their way, they'd have nothing to do with him because they don't like him.
Well, so that's true, right? And so, and so I agree with. So you make my point, right?
Yeah.
Pat McAfee built his platform independent of ESPN, right?
Yep.
And so to build his platform, he understood that he could not be polarizing, right? You just come on and you just be Pat McAfee. Whereas though Stephen A. Smith and the guy even brought up Kendrick Perkins, right? Mm-hmm. Kendrick Perkins is polarized because you sitting on somebody else's platform. You can be polarizing, but if you are too polarizing, then the network, because you don't have any leverage, you just collecting a paycheck. So if the network don't like you, they can get rid of you. If you get rid of Pat McAfee, he already built his base, and he just to take his base with him, right? Mm-hmm. Because the people love and appreciate him for being himself, right? So he governs himself. He don't need ESPN to govern him, right? He governs himself, right? And so, but the other guys, they don't have that option. They just trying to get the hot take so they can stay on there.
Well, Pat McAfee did have to walk some comments back a few times. So once you take that check and once you're in business with him, you know, it is some guidelines there.
Oh,
but the good thing about his show is they can't fire anybody off his show.
Right.
Because that's his show.
Right. Yeah. Whereas though some people was like, well, Stephen A. Smith, why you couldn't stand up for stand up for Ryan Clark? Why you couldn't get your girl Molly a raise? You know what I mean? Or why? You know what I mean? Why? So it's like right, exactly. So it's not his show.
Not his show.
So it's different. And I think a lot of this grifting that's going on, I think.
So when you keep saying grifting, what you calling them, like liars?
No, grifting is
or something. What do you mean?
Grifting grifting is like when you just say something to cater to a certain audience that may not be your honest or like your genuine feeling about that, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's to cause a debate one way or another when really you don't care about the outcome on either side. You just want some people to debate and go back and forth about it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think a lot of media in this environment try to do that. They try to make the easy path to success by just ginning up controversy and pouring gas on the fire.
Mhm.
And they try to make a shortcut to getting their name out there by doing that, as opposed to the personalities that can just be themselves and generate that connection with viewers.
I don't think ESPN is against that. I think ESPN welcomes that because, like you said, it creates engagement and it creates
Yes.
controversy and
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yep.
I believe Ryan Clark got dismissed because of what he did to Peter Schrager on air. I believe that's what really triggered him being laid off or fired, is because, he even said, we shouldn't do this on TV, but that's the non-player in you. And Peter Schrager took offense to that. He said, don't just diminish me like that. I can have an opinion with ex-players on there. I'm not a fantasy football guy. I cover the sports, stuff like that. And I think also, even Ryan Clark said this, all of his political stances, in terms of, not authentically black. He made a comment like that on the air one time. He said that they didn't want him standing up for Angel Reese. He said that on the pivot because he broke his silence about getting fired. So I think ESPN, just because of all that, the political nature around Ryan Clark, I think they parted ways with him because of that, me personally, not because, just saying hot takes to create debate. I just think it was more about that kind of stuff.
Why did they go ahead, Tunk?
No, I was just gonna say the thing with the guy that came over from NFL Network, say his name Schrager. I think with that, I think that was kind of like, that's how Ryan Clark always been, but that was the time that it was on air and everybody else saw it. You understand? I think he always took the position where if you never played, you shouldn't be commenting on it. Or your opinion is not as valid as mine because you haven't played. Now, whatever side of the fence you fall on, that's fine. You understand? I'm not here to debate that, but I think that got old. That got old when it came to the powers to be, and like you say, the political stance and the racial. He made everything is race, but everything isn't racial. I think I'm saying this right. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but everything is race, but everything isn't racial. And I think he made everything racial, and it wasn't. You know what I mean? Because the quarterback can't complete a pass, that ain't because he raped. You know what I mean? That's not because he a black quarterback or a white quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But he turned everything into that, and that got old for me. And I'm a fan of Ryan Clark, you know what I'm saying, still a guy and all that, but that got old for me, man. So I started turning them out.
So let me ask y'all this then. So how do y'all feel about Ryan Clark's opinion that if you didn't play football, then you can't really, basically straight, he should have had an opinion on that situation that they was talking about as a fan or a non-player. How do y'all feel about that?
I don't necessarily agree with it. I see where he's coming from, but I don't necessarily agree with it. I mean, everybody, look at us. We never played in the league, but we got opinions about it. Now, sometimes, things can get ridiculous with players, and their perspective is different because the lens that they're looking through is different. It's from like a journalistic perspective instead of a player's perspective. But that don't mean it's invalid.
Right.
I think, and Ryan even knew he was stepping in some territory because he said it right up front. But he did it anyway, and I think that was the line he crossed. He said, "I know this is a line I shouldn't cross, but I'm going to cross it."
And he said, "I'm gonna apologize if it comes off rude." He said that too. Yeah. So he knew he was stepping in.
He knew.
It was very rude. It was very rude, and should diminish a guy that's sitting up there with you. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting up there with you, and or whatever like that. But the put it in a way like you don't know what you're talking about, you know, that's
and he could have easily said, well, my perspective probably is a little different.
And that's basically all it was. Yeah.
And he could have said it with a little bit of humility instead of saying it with ego. And the dismissive way he addressed Pete was where he went wrong.
He had other football players on the panel, Teddy Bruschi and somebody else, and they kind of got quiet when he said it.
Yeah.
You could see their energy was a little like, I wouldn't have said it like that.
Well, even like, no matter how you say it, I just think it's wrong, right? Because I just go to the point where it's a different perspective, you know. You know, he basically, as long as everybody is respecting the craft, you know, you can have your perspective from a fan standpoint. So I don't think that, you know, that legitimizes it, you know, because and athletes sometimes resent reporters, you know, because reporters feel like they try to hold it over athletes' heads that they're trained interviewers, they're trained, you know, they train to research and they train to look for facts and they train for asking questions in a certain way to get, you know, to get to the bottom of stuff, right? To get a person to basically, you know, like to get to the truth of the matter, right? Whereas though athletes, they are going and basing everything that they talk about based off their experience, right? Which is valid too. And that just gives you a whole different perspective, right? So,
but even if you had an experience, you still can't speak for another player and their efforts. And that's what the conversation was about, how well CeeDee Lamb played or his efforts. Brian Clark can't go inside of CeeDee Lamb and talk about his efforts. He just only can speak from his perspective. But I also think some of these cuts ESPN doing is also to clean up some money for this extension they're going to give Pat McAfee, because they let Bart Scott go. And to me, Bart Scott was a great football analyst. He wasn't political. He wasn't, you know, what you call Mike, a grifter.
Yeah.
He wasn't none of that. You know, he was just football. And that was his main thing. And they let him go. So, you know, and they let a lot of people that ain't on camera go. Staff and people behind the scenes, they did a lot of laying off. So it ain't just about, I think Ryan got out of there because of that, but it ain't just about that. I think they're trying to really clean up some money.
Here's the question: where does Cam Newton fall then in that? Is he more on the, hey, this guy, we just don't need his? Yeah. Or was it just pure money?
No, it probably was a combination of both.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think Cam was getting what Ryan was getting.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, Cam, you know, he's had some controversial stuff, not on ESPN, off of ESPN on his 4th and 1. And then what happened? Didn't he make a comment about he couldn't work with females?
Yes.
Without being tempted?
Yes.
That's a tough statement to make. You say that publicly, I got layoffs coming.
Right. You know, that's why I think, like, okay, it just seems that like somebody like ESPN is going to get back to more so having more people that are trained at reporting, and you know what I mean, and then that way because you have media savvy people. And so in this day and age of social media, you have to be, because you don't want to alienate any of your audience. Like, because if you ESPN and you got the NFL football, you want to have people on air who can navigate that situation without alienating. Like for instance, when Colin Kaepernick took the knee, right? You got to be able to handle that type of situation. Talk about it in a way where you don't piss off any segment of your audience. You don't want to piss off black people, you know what I mean, because they feel like they have the right to kneel. You don't want to piss off people who feel like, you know, they took offense to the kneeling. So you got to handle that situation in a certain way. Now, when you have a whole bunch of different personalities on air and everybody basically giving their take without any type of media training or media savvy, then that's where you really competing against yourself, and then you alienate. You leaving money on the table basically. Because then now a certain segment where I'm not going to watch it because they kneeling, or I'm not going to watch it because they're not allowed to kneel, right? And so now, why? You know what I mean? Like you leaving money on the table. So you know what I mean? Go ahead, Tom.
No, let me rewind back to Cam Newton and that statement he made, where though if he worked with an attractive woman, you know what I mean, he would have to hit on her, things like that. And that speaks to, you know what I mean, lack of self-control. And you know, you're a big company like Disney. After Cam say something like that, and if you decide to stay with Cam and keep him employed there, it's almost like set yourself up for future lawsuits. And they were saying, well, he said that. He said he was going to be attracted to other women, you know what I mean? So he's going to be hitting on them, flirting with them. You know, so that sexual harassment stuff comes into play. And then, you know, Cam kind of like, he greased the skid. I'm saying that, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. He made it real easy for ESPN to say, all right, man, you know what I mean? That's something we don't want to have to deal with because you can't control yourself around and a woman you find attractive. And this day and age with lawsuits and things like that, they're not putting up with that. You know, that happened over at NFL Network years ago when that one female man sued the network, and they say all these former players were sexually harassing her, and they had to fire all them players because they all was guilty of doing that. You know what I mean? Brought up some sex. And it was just a mess, man. It was a mess over there. They had to fire everybody. Everybody over there got fired. And all former players. They all were former players because of that. So that's something, man. You don't really want to go down that road. You really don't want to go down that road.
Mike, you say that they don't want to alienate an audience, right? Mm-hmm. If that's the case, wouldn't they let Stephen A. go a long time ago? Because he does that. He leans into that a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think, in my personal opinion, I think Pat McAfee is phasing Stephen A. Smith out. If you look at Stephen A. Smith and his role at ESPN is diminishing. When you look at like the finals that just left, right? Stephen A. Smith has a long time had a connection with the New York Knicks, right? And so he wasn't really like on that panel as much as I thought he would have been, with as much as touting he has done over the years for the New York Knicks, right? And then when you look at like boxing, you know what I mean? When you talk about boxing on ESPN, because some things that he said about boxing and made it obvious that he wasn't up on the sport, so they don't put him on boxing. Then I'm watching clips earlier today of Stephen A. Smith talk about football, right? And he is he's commending people. You know, he was making mistakes that he shouldn't have made, as far as like it just made it look like he wasn't doing his research. He commended people who wasn't still on the staff, you know, and stuff like that for different football teams. And so either he's overexposed and he's not doing his homework, and he really need to focus on one thing, either basketball or football, because you know, he's just making too many mistakes.
Yeah, but that's his brand, though. Big ego. That's his brand. His brand isn't hard-hitting factual stuff. It's him being big ego.
Yeah, and they took him off covering the NBA. Remember, he used to be on the pregame NBA stuff. They took him off that. Him and Mike Wilborn was on that at one time. So they took him off that. But they're gonna always lean into athletes being on the air, Mike, because you need somebody to break down the game. You know, you're gonna have journalists, but you're gonna have athletes. You're gonna always have.
I mean, you definitely need that perspective, right? Because that gives your audience something that, you know, like, all right, it's just like being in a locker room or being on a team or experiencing that. Like, fans want to hear from them. So you know, definitely not. You're not gonna throw away that avenue, that aspect. You know, that I think that gives big networks an advantage over you know what I mean, like small podcasts and small who don't have that access. But it's a way that you present that. You know, you got to present that in a certain way, whereas though, like I said, you don't really alienate or turn off your audience.
Here's the thing too. if they're gonna phase Stephen A. out, right? You don't sign him to that extension that he just got. He got $100 million for 5 years, 20 million a year. So if you let him go, you still got to pay him that. You know what I'm saying?
It might be a buyout in there, though. It might be a buyout in there. You never know. It could be a buyout in that contract.
It might be. I'm just basing this on Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark said they still got to pay him.
Right.
You know, I don't know. You're right. I don't know Stephen A's contract, but I'm just saying you gave him that extension. You paying him 20 million a year. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying, because I just don't, I think you're giving the network a little bit too much credit in terms of trying to steer away from controversy. I just don't believe that they are.
Well, I don't think they're steering away from it. I think they trying to regulate and they trying to take control over what is being, you want to present it in a certain way.
Here's the thing with ESPN. They have no competition. There's no other sports shows on networks anymore. You got Fox, you got maybe First Things First, but they don't have any competition.
I'm gonna tell you what their competition is. Their competition is podcasters who will give you an honest conversation without an agenda. People don't want the agenda, and so you take away your advantage when you come with an agenda and people recognize your agenda. They don't tune into that. Like go ahead.
Podcasts it ain't real competition for them because they're not basing their money on clicks and views. They got sponsorships. These corporations, these commercials are appealing to the consumers that's home during the day, that's shopping. As long as that's an audience there, these networks don't really compete with content creators. Content creators compete with each other. And yes, you can pick up a lot of views and you can pick up subscribers because you ain't getting it from linear television. But linear television, as long as they got people home during the day, housewives and stuff like that, they got consumers paying for commercials. That's where they get their money from.
Yeah. I disagree. And I'm looking at analytics every day where I'm telling you, people are riding around in their vehicles, just like what you see Tunk now doing. You don't get linear TV. It's easier to get a YouTube channel when you ride around in your car.
I'm not saying content creators don't have a lot of views and ain't getting a lot of subscribers and stuff like that. What I'm saying is linear television ain't concerned with that because they're not getting paid off that. They're getting paid from sponsorships, commercials.
Content creators get paid off of sponsorships.
I'm not saying they don't. What I'm saying to you is regardless of what content creators are doing, it's not stopping linear TV's money because sponsors are appealing to that person at home watching TV, buying products.
Why split? All right, let me ask you this like this. Why split that money with somebody when you don't have to?
They're not splitting money.
Yeah, if I listen to you talk instead of ESPN talk, then that's one less eye that they
all right. This is the only way they split money. If let's say let's think of a commercial. Let's think of State Farm, right? State Farm say ESPN, I want to give you certain amount. I want to pay certain amount of money for airtime while this show on, right? I'm gonna pay them this, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of your money and give it to this content. It's not working like that.
Let me tell you how it works.
It's so much money out there. They creating their own contracts with these linear television networks.
Let me tell you how it works, Clayton. This is the thing. Like people now receive their messages different. They consume their messages or their content different than they used to years ago.
I'm not saying they don't.
No. Well, stop cutting me off. Let me finish. All right, you could build a campaign around a professional basketball player like they did Michael Jordan, and you could present him across with Nike, State Farm, Gatorade, and put him out in front of the world with that, right?
Yes.
But now because people they sitting on their phone all the day, even big companies like Nike, like they use content creator to put their message out there. So you don't have to put a campaign around a single player. What you can do is you can go to the content creator and you can market through them. It's cheaper to market. It's cheaper to market through a content creator than it is to build a campaign around an athlete who might go out and flash a gun on TV, or who might have issues publicly with a whole bunch of baby mamas, or an athlete who can't keep himself away from the table. You know, like you invest in all that money in an athlete when all you have to do is run your campaign through a content creator. Is cheaper. If the content creator do something to get out of line, then the contract is terminated. There's no campaign with a contract.
Bro, all that you saying is true. What I'm saying to you is, it still does not affect these companies investing money in linear television. That's why they're still making TV shows, sitcoms, and everything else. Yes, a lot of people are on their phone, but it's a whole lot of people still watching TV, and they spending a whole lot of advertising dollars on TV. Let's take the Super Bowl, for instance. Super Bowl, all those commercials, they pay out the butthole for that. NFL football, they pay out the butthole for that. NBA TV, basketball games is on linear television. They pay out the butthole for that. I'm not saying that they don't go through content creators. And also on content creators, that is so saturated. You got some that's really successful, but then it's so saturated. So that's another thing about it. So I'm not saying that that's not the case. What I'm saying is that's not affecting the money linear television is getting. Right. That's all I'm saying.
You don't think that before YouTube came along that market share for ESPN was bigger?
No, I don't. I think it's bigger than it's ever been. If they can pay Pat McAfee what they can ready to pay him. They paying Stephen A what they paying him. I think it's bigger than it's ever been.
Mm-mm. You know, it's just like if you use the correct word, you said saturated. Yeah. If you had so many people out there that's putting content out, right? Yeah. I can't recall the last time. I watch a lot more people on social media for sports conversation than I do watch somebody like Stephen A. Smith.
I agree with you.
Right?
I hear you.
I will say this. I agree with you, Clayton, but I think where we are at, the tides are going to shift because I look at where I'm at. I turn 60 next month,
right?
And I still I'm in the tech business, so I'm okay with going to podcasts and YouTube and all sorts of media to absorb stuff. But I still watch Sports Center, and I still watch some of the linear TV stuff, right? And obviously that's where I watch games. So, but I think there's a generation of folks that, and Panama Queen just put it in the chat. There's a whole generation of folks that don't go to linear TV for sports opinion. And I think as generations shift, I think there will be a sea change in how people gravitate towards content.
And I'm not disputing any of that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, even with that happening, it's not affecting the money linear TV is getting. And also,
and I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%.
Also, these networks, ESPN, Fox, they have a digital presence.
Yep.
They are on YouTube.
So you
and they have millions of subscribers to their stuff. So CNN and all this other stuff.
Wait a minute. So you proved my point. Why, if you Fox and if you ESPN, why go out and create a digital network? Stephen A. Smith even did the same thing. He went out and got a podcast himself. So that's where the money is.
I never disagreed with your point. The only thing I'm disagreeing with you is all of that action on content creators is not affecting the linear money these TV stations are getting. It's not.
Even if one person watch it on their cell phone, That's one person that ESPN don't have, Clayton. It's
I'm
just
not
that
disputing that. I'm not disputing that. But even not having that one person, they still got millions of people. These companies are still paying millions and millions of dollars to advertise on TV.
And I think it's because there are still a lot of older.
Well,
I'm just gonna say it's a generational thing, right? And I watched a video about Branson, Missouri, which is there's a lot of folks in the Midwest. They would go to Branson, Missouri to be entertained and ride the roller coasters and see the shows. And what's happening in Branson right now? All the shows with the big name acts from the 50s and the 60s are gone, because that generation where you had millions and millions of older folks going to Branson for entertainment, they stopped going. Right. And Branson has to shift because it's just 4 hours away from where I'm at, 3.5. But they had to shift focus, knowing that generation's not coming around anymore. And all these big theaters in Branson are shutting down, and they're shifting. Now they still get a lot of they still attract a lot of attention because they got the roller coasters, they got golf, they got the lakes for fishing and doing all that stuff. So they still got tourism, but they're shifting their focus because of what the content was, the shows that they had, and who they were targeting are no longer able to go there, right? I think that's what's going to happen in the near future with linear content.
Well, and that's what I think. And this move with ESPN, I think, is a shift. ESPN, in my opinion, is leaning into the advantages that they have, right? So if you are just a regular podcast and you sitting in your living room and you giving your take over the cell phone, you don't have a production, and you don't have the research, and you don't have the professional reporters and the guys who are media savvy and the guys who are media trained. So you lean into that, and you present a better product to whoever is going to consume your content, whether they consume it on a linear TV or whether they consume it on a cell phone, right? And so that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how they have an advantage because they, like I said, they are a larger production. But when you have people who are not media savvy, and then you put them in a situation, you put them out in front like that, and that takes away from everything that you do on the back end and putting people in front of, if you're going to be professional from the back end, you may as well be professional all the way through the process. And because that's where the advantage is for those large networks. And I don't think somebody, like somebody with just a small podcast can't compete with that. Only if you allow them to be able to compete, and you start doing the things that they're doing, and putting information out there based on, you want a hot take, or you want to say something that's salacious, whereas though big networks don't have to lean into stuff like that.
Well, what about these streaming apps?
What about them?
What about? Yeah. You got Netflix, you got Hulu and stuff like that. They taking content off YouTube, like the Breakfast Club stuff, and it's only on that streaming app, which is watched on TV.
You keep making my point, right? Because
I'm not disputing your point. I'm just showing you where.
Well, you said, what about streaming apps? Yes. All right. So now you have, all right. And when you think about movies and stuff like that, it used to be where movies used to go and they used to play in the theater for how many ever weeks a movie would play in the theater. Now some movies don't even go. Make a movie and they go straight to the platform, right? Straight to a streaming platform. It's plenty of people that want to go to whatever the movie, Lowe's movie theater, and sit there. They like that experience. People still do that, but a lot of people they sit at home in the convenience of their own home, and they stream a movie. You invite people over. They might have like a little movie party or something like that. So yes, people consume this content differently than they used to. Everybody's not going to the theater.
Yeah. And I never said they did. All I'm saying to you is that these big companies, When you get a presence on there, they buy you out, man. They buy you out. Just like Pat McAfee, they bought him out.
Well,
Put him on linear television.
You can
They,
team up with, but
they
now
bought him
but
out.
that's a whole different subject, though, right?
I'm just saying they bought him out, put him on linear television.
I don't think it's a different subject, Mike, because I think what that says is that ESPN sees, hey, this is a way we bridge that gap. We've got a personality that bridges across all medium, right? He's on YouTube, and at the same time we simulcast on the network.
On linear television.
And it's the best of both worlds, and we still get the linear money, but we're investing in the future in this popular personality and personalities.
Let me ask y'all this: why, if Pat McAfee don't matter and he got a platform separate from ESPN, why do business with him then? Like if he's not bringing anything to the table, why do business? Why bring him to ESPN then?
Because him being simulcast on TV has a bigger reach, and to Clayton's point, gets more advertisers.
For who?
For ESPN.
Right, but I mean,
and we never said Pat, and I never said Pat McAfee didn't matter. What I'm saying is, regardless of what Pat McAfee was doing, it wasn't stopping ESPN from getting lucrative money from advertising and commercials. Now,
all right. So my whole point was because of the way people consume the content. That's why ESPN is adjusting the way they do business. And so every time y'all give an example, you just make my point, right? Pat McAfee has a large base, right? And Pat McAfee is going to have his base is worth so much that they bumping Pat McAfee above what Stephen A. Smith is getting, right? He get ready to get, so Stephen A. Smith is getting, I think 100, or he getting like 20 million a year. They talking about giving him at least twice that, 2, maybe 3 times that. He has his own platform. Stephen A. Smith do not have his own platform.
You keep saying that like I'm somebody's disagreeing with your point.
No.
The only thing I'm disagreeing with is the competition wise. It's not a competition if you're not stopping my money. That's all I'm ever saying. But yes, people consume things differently. They see Pat McAfee grow an audience, they scoop him up, put him on linear television. Like Netflix, they saw all the views and stuff that Breakfast Club and some of these other podcasts be getting. They scoop them up, put them on their streaming app. I'm just saying, it's big bank take little bank. It's going to always keep being that.
Yeah, I mean, now that's true. Big bank will take little bank, but I think little bank is making big bank consider the way they do business.
I mean, of course, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying anything's wrong with reconsider or consider how you're doing business. All I'm saying is these things been going on for decades now, and it ain't affecting linear television money, is all I'm saying. That's when I feel like it's a competition, when you start to take my money from me. But they not. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with your point.
No, I mean, every time you make a point, every time you or Jim make a point, y'all just prove my point.
Yeah, but we're trying to get you to understand that the money is still in linear television as well. Yeah. That's all.
No, my whole point is they have to readjust the way they do business because they are leaning into narratives and they bidding against themselves basically.
Well, listen, Mike, in business, the market is forever changing. You always have to adjust how you do business as you grow. That's to me, that's a no-brainer. Yeah. But I'm just saying, these content creators is competing with them. Yeah.
I don't think they're competing for the same ad dollars.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Not when you give me a content creator getting money like the NFL getting, you know what I'm saying? Or you get me a content creator getting money like ESPN getting, then I say, yeah, they competing with them.
No, well, that's why I said, all right. This is my last point.
All right, go ahead.
This the last thing. That's the last thing. That's why like I said, you don't have to build a campaign around a star athlete anymore because it's cheaper to go to influencers. And so you use influencers. Then when you have somebody who has their own platform like Pat McAfee, it only makes good sense to do business with them because they bring an audience to you. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's it.
Let me ask you this. Do you think influencers are really, truly moving tennis shoes and products like linear TV is?
Linear TV is an avenue. So what you mean? Are they moving? Are the influencers?
Are they moving product like linear TV?
Yeah, I mean, like when I see, like if you people who advertise, like say for instance, like there are brands out there that people advertise that I'm not even aware of, like Lululemon, like is a brand, right?
Yes.
And Lululemon is a big brand that they never even put that on. You don't see Lululemon like on linear TV. You see that through these kids who wearing that stuff online. So that's a whole nother audience. Like people are building brands online through these influencers, right?
I agree with that. I'm just saying, do you think they're moving product at the same pace or the same impact as linear television is?
I don't think so. I definitely don't think that they. But I'm just saying, when you got a kid, a little 15-year-old young man or young woman who has millions of followers and on TikTok and all that stuff, and you put like a little outfit on there, that stuff gonna move.
And I think I go back to my original premise, which is the different medias are targeting different demographics. Yes. And that's why that is why you have State Farm doing so much advertising in the sports area on linear, because who's watching that? The 35 to 60-year-old homeowners and car owners and people that need life insurance, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and they're not targeting them with Lululemon because that's not their product.
And that's the thing about and that's the thing about advertising again online, right? Mm-hmm. You can it's easier to pinpoint a specific demographic.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like if you give a Lululemon outfit to a kid, because I never even heard of Lululemon, but you know what I mean? But it's big with certain age demographic or people who might do or work out in certain types of apparel, right?
Yep.
That wouldn't show up in my timeline because I don't fit that demographic.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you could go boom. You're not going, so.
Where do you think the algorithm comes from? You think that's something new? Do you think it's something new?
Well, we talk about targeting the demographic, right?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Do you think it's something new though? Algorithms.
No, ain't nothing new under the sun.
Exactly.
Yeah, ain't nothing new under the sun. All it is all that has always been, right?
Right. So linear television knows how to understand its demographic and target that as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, but yeah, like I said, ain't nothing new under the sun.
Right.
You know, all that is all that has always been. I mean, it's just a whole different way of using it, right? A different way of utilizing whatever you're using, whatever you're utilizing. Right. Text is not new. You know what I mean? Like, cavemen, if people call writing on a cave wall, that's texting, right? You know what I mean? Or sending Morse code. You know what I mean? You send Morse code to the train station, the telegram. What is that? That's texting, right? But so when people get a hold of a cell phone, they think texting is new.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely communication. Absolutely. It's actually word communication without words.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I hear you.
Yeah.
Interesting though.
Yeah. So now what was we gonna talk about? The WNBA, right? We
can talk about that commissioner.
What's the WNBA commissioner name? What's her name?
Kathy Engelberg.
Yeah.
What's going like? Why would they not like reach out to Sabrina Ionescu and then lie about it? I don't get that.
I mean, I'm not an insider. I don't know what's going on, but but when you put that in the chat, Clayton, that they're going to get rid of her, I started looking into that, and there are reports out there that at the end of the season, the owners, they want her gone.
I think she just falling on the sword though.
I mean that I think.
Yeah, I think she's falling on the sword.
There's a whole bunch of reasons why they think that things are being mismanaged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just don't think they care about the WNBA. I just
No.
don't
Who?
really think they care about
Like,
who doesn't?
I don't know.
Yeah, because you wouldn't allow somebody like if you own McDonald's, you're not going to allow the manager to fuck it up.
What?
You know what I mean? You're not. Even though I'm the owner, you're not. I don't care who managing it. It's going to be ran a certain way.
Yeah.
And so she manages the WNBA. Certain things not going to fall through the cracks.
But they in unprecedented times, and now that they in this time right now, they getting rid of that shit. Yeah. They do care because they can see the growth in it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the way it was ran before, that's fine. But now they got this new CBA and all this stuff, all these eyeballs and stuff. They trying to seize the moment.
And and then I'm sure she see the writing on the wall, so she gonna be on her P's and Q's, or should be on her P's and Q's, or not less. So this is either telling me either she not on her P's and Q's, or either they hire somebody who is incompetent, right? So I don't know. I don't know how she could mess up like that.
Well, I think it was a bad PR move. I think for whatever reason, I think they wanted some fresh stars in the contest, right? So you don't invite Sabrina because she dominates that contest. You don't invite Kayla McBride. Says she didn't get invited. Caitlin hadn't spoken on it at all. She hadn't said a word. But you don't invite them, and then you put it out. We invited them, but they declined because you don't want to look like you're not inviting the previous champion. Or you don't want to look this way. So I think it was a bad PR move that got exposed because Sabrina came right out and said, I never got invited. So I just think it was a bad PR move. And
her media
didn't do that.
Her media post was just one word: lies.
Yeah, but then they put a mic in her face though.
Yeah,
and she talked about it. Yeah.
Who media post was it? Sabrina media post said.
Yeah, it said lies.
Yeah, because the WNBA. Whoever runs their media had put a tweet out or something that said, that she had declined.
No,
and she had a one-word response: lies.
And Kayla McBride said she got a half-ass invitation through her agent or something, but it wasn't a real invitation. So, Well,
let me ask you, like, how much of this fall on the players though? Like, if you know. That like when we was in high school, we knew that when the trials came, it was our obligation to try, put our name on that trial sheet. So like, how much is it up to them? Like, do you need a formal invitation when you know it's coming?
Yeah, and that's what I thought that because another statement she made that I didn't get official invite. So is the official invite different than what, like you say, like something like through the agent or whatever? Is it something different? Like that word official makes me think like, well, they gave her like a halfway invite, instead of, and I don't know what official invite really is or what it really is.
I don't know how they do it, but it's going back to the commissioner. This is just one more thing in a long string of things that happen in the WNBA that they're just fumbling the communication. They're not getting the right communication internally or externally done correctly.
One of the stakeholders said, one of the owners said, they think Kathy said, okay, we got this new CBA, we got us to a certain place financially, so my job is done. but they questioning her in terms of everything else. Is she the right person to lead us forward?
Yeah.
They're questioning her building relationships with the players and all this other stuff. So
what do you think of that, Clayton? What you think of that? Well, I mean, do you think she is, or do you think they should make a change at the top?
I think the change is already going to happen. I think once you start getting these articles written like this and reports, she done, but I think that, as a commissioner, you got to have a good working relationship with the players union and the players. You have to. Look what Roger Goodell does. He ingratiates himself with players, and he tries to have personal relationships, and Adam Silver and David Stern and all these other. You got to do that. You're in the business of leading young women, young players, young men. You want them to have trust in you. So in order for them to trust you with their future, their livelihood, you got to have some kind of relationship,
Yeah. And it just so happens that her contract is up at the end of this season. I think that's the key point that, hey, if this is the time to change, we just don't renew her contract.
Rob about to say if they thought they had the right person, they'd have extended her already.
Yep. And Adam Silver, he declined to come. He never said yeah or no. He skipped over that question. He spit it. You know what I'm saying? So
Adam Silver, man, me personally, I think he's a horrible commissioner, man.
Okay. That's fair.
No. I'm not even, trying to disagree with anything. I'm just like,
No,
I just don't think.
Of all the commissioners, recent commissioners, he is the least charismatic.
And then it seemed like he has the least amount of control. It seems like, I'm not going to say the league runs amok or anything like that, but it seems like he has just the Kawhi investigation. Why, they want to say, it's independent. Man, it's been 8-9 months. I mean, no decisions, you know what I'm saying? No decisions has come about, It just seems like he has, then star players, it just reflects negatively on him. The Ja Morant thing, the Zion Williams thing, even though Zion wasn't legal, it just reflects negative on him. You know what I'm saying? The young players.
Yeah.
Things like
that. I don't like. All right, so David Stern, you thought David Stern had more charisma than I saw David Stern as a guy who ruled with a, you know what I mean? Like he was old school.
He was
right.
That.
Yeah. So I don't know if he was like charismatic though.
No, I wouldn't say he's that. I wouldn't say he's that. But like you say, you knew where he stood. You knew what he was going to put up with and what he wasn't. Yeah, and Adam Silver was in his office. He was a deputy commissioner under Stern. So obviously, and he wanted to run things his way, and that's fair. And he had every right to do that. But I think it just seemed way more lenient.
He kind of runs things on cruise control.
Yeah,
Adam Silver.
I think it's all. I just when you talking about $1 billion industries like this, I think it's all by design. I don't think a lot of mistakes get made at that level. I really don't. I think people cross their T's and I think they dot their I's. I think the way we see the league today is the way they want us to see the league. And
that's why they're unhappy with Kathy, because the W is still kind of bumpy. It's not running smooth.
Yeah. So I think, because you're talking about billions of dollars, and I'm like, this is what y'all want to show. So
she put a nail in her coffin too when she told Pat what's his name? The guy on Dan Patrick.
Oh, Dan Patrick.
She told Dan Patrick she'd do a show. And then, a half an hour or so before,
that's right,
she declined, and then he came out public with it. He came out public.
Yeah, I heard that.
Did she give a reason why she declined? Did she give a reason?
Her PR team told her it wouldn't be a good idea for her to do the show and all this other stuff. Yeah, so that's like she running from questions.
Yeah.
And when you're a commissioner, you got to face all them questions. You got to field them. And you gotta, give politically correct answers. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta talk. You gotta face it. I give Roger Goodell some credit. He don't avoid them. He might talk around in a circle, but he'll let you ask the question, you know?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, they gotta be accountable at that position. They gotta be accountable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's why I think she gonna fall on that sword, man.
Yeah. And you're right, Mike. It probably is a thing where they've already made a decision and she's just battling out, falling on the sword, and it's gonna get written the way it's getting written.
Yeah.
But even that that event where she didn't show up, wasn't there reports that she was then recently during the time when she should have been on the show, and then she canceled, and then she was off playing golf?
She was on the golf course right across from me.
Yeah.
He was right there.
That's not a good look. That is not a good look.
Chipping balls out the bunker.
Not a good look.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna go shoot a couple rounds. Damn that interview. I'm gonna go shoot a couple.
And they right there watching them.
Yeah.
She right there in the bunker.
Oh.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I got to figure wasn't nothing good gonna come out of it.
Yeah.
She's like, if I do this interview, ain't nothing good gonna come out of it.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna tank it, I'm gonna tank it all the way.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all what y'all think about LeBron's decision to go to Philly. Y'all off guard?
I mean, we need SMT Media Network to chime in the chat, man. He did a great video on this on his channel. But yeah, it's having watched his video on it, and he needs to chime in, but he makes a lot of good points. I mean, when LeBron goes somewhere, it's calculated, and it's based on who's already on that team, and he's going there to look like he's the guy that puts them over the top when they already have everything they need to make a run.
Is that your perspective too?
I mean, I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Look what happened when he went to Miami. Hall of Famer's already there, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, that's why he went to L.A. I mean, second, and SMT made a great point. He went back to Cleveland.
That's why he went back to Cleveland.
Who was there when you? I mean, come on, man. He's when we talked about the ring culture thing, and it's for him. He thinks it's all about perspective, and he'll go there, and if they win, you know, he thinks it adds to his legacy when all he's ever done is just run around to different places that are stacked.
Yeah. I want to hear Tom.
I'm definitely pushing back. I'm getting my push broom out for this.
Yeah. I want to hear it, man.
I'm listening.
I'm getting my push broom out for this. Now, you look at the teams he went to once he joined them. You look at what them teams did prior to him getting there. Now, first of all, like this. Every free agent should look at what's best for him, his family, his career, right? When Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, you know what I'm saying? They loaded up for him to make that run when he won in Tampa Bay. They loaded up. I don't think you ring chasing when you already been a winner. If you haven't won, then you can be like, all right, you know what I mean? He's just trying to chase that ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tom Brady already has 6. LeBron already has 4. But look, you look at the teams, you say the teams that he joined, they were stacked, right? And every team he's been on is a super team, right? Now let's just talk about Philly. When they just got Jaylen Brown, who I'm a big fan of, who I think is an awesome player, man. Really, on both sides of the ball, actually. Were they calling that a super team when he joined them just a couple weeks ago? Were they saying Philly was a super team? They had the same odds as Orlando to come out of the East and win the championship. The same odds as Orlando. So you add a 42-year-old, soon to be 42-year-old player. All of a sudden, the narrative changed. He's going to this super team. The thing is, LeBron is the one that makes a super team, if that's what you want to call it. Him joining a team is actually what makes people say it's a super team. I don't think they're a super team. I don't think adding LeBron at 41 years old makes them a super team, right? Embiid is not the MVP that he was when he won the award. Maxey, I like him a lot, and Jaylen Brown, like him a lot. So LeBron at best gonna be third option, at best, maybe even a fourth option. But I say at best he'd be a third option.
So here's the thing, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, because here's the thing. They didn't win in Miami. They didn't win a championship in Miami until he got there. They didn't win a championship in Cleveland until he went back. Now, obviously, LA's won a bunch of championships, but hadn't in recent times. And then they won the COVID championship when LeBron went back. Mm-hmm. So if they win the championship this time with LeBron, does that really solidify LeBron as the guy that puts teams over the top to win championships?
It could. I'm just saying, but right now, like you just said, this is extra credit for LeBron. His legacy already set one way or the other. You're right.
You
understand? This is extra credit. And Shaq mentioned that.
Yeah. Didn't Miami have a championship with Dwayne Wade before LeBron went there?
Yes.
All right. So we talking LeBron James. LeBron James, 7 years into his career, didn't have a championship, right?
Right.
So 7 years into his career, LeBron James decided to join the Miami Heat, and Dwayne Wade had already led them to a championship. So right then and there, gate,
that's right.
He is, you know what I mean? Like, he chasing that championship, right? I think when LeBron James left, Cleveland that first time, I thought that he had panicked because he understood that Michael Jordan won it in his seventh year. He got a championship in his seventh year, right? And so I think that LeBron James panicked, went to Miami, and from then on he has been chasing. That's where the chasing started when he went to. Now, if you don't want to say once he got 2 championships in Miami, and you want to change the narrative and you want to say, well, he's not chasing now because he already have 2, right? Which I still disagree with, because once you in that race, you are in that race. Who are you chasing? You chasing Mike, right? Mike got 6. You still only have 2, right? And so he been chasing since when he leave 2010, I forgot when he left, but 7 years in 2010. Yeah, he left around 2010. He been chasing since 2010, and now here we are, 2026. He only had 4 rings. I can't blame him.
That's a hell of a statement. He only got 4 rings.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about if that's your goal, your goal is to catch Mike, and you only get, Mike got 6, you only get 4. You only have 4,
But who made LeBron say that I want to catch Mike? Did he ever say that? I want to catch Mike? Or that's what the media said, to be put on that level.
But LeBron is the one who injected him. I never even really, until LeBron made that statement 2016, that's what made me the GOAT with 3 rings. Had 3 rings, and he gonna say that, that puts him ahead of Kobe, Magic, Bird, and all those guys. LeBron wasn't even on my radar when it came to being like in that GOAT conversation. He injected himself into that conversation, right? So when you inject yourself into that conversation, now people going to start to scrutinize. They're going to start to overturn all those. That's not even to say that LeBron is not an excellent athlete, right? He's an exceptional athlete, but he ain't Mike. He ain't Magic. He ain't Kobe. He ain't Bird. He ain't none of those guys. I mean, not in my eyes. I can debate that all day, every day.
Yeah, me too. That's why, it's bad. We only got a 2-hour show around here.
I mean, I got time. I got time.
2-hour show, you know what I'm saying? The thing about it is, man, and I have a family member, man, and this guy is just obsessed with this LeBron James guy, man, where he can't even look at things through a rational lens, man. It's all just hate, no matter what, hate. The thing about it is, man, I don't get into that comparing eras and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? To me, I don't even say Mike Jordan was the greatest ever. I don't even say that. But That's the time and place for another day. The thing is about LeBron, and they always want to say, the stat team thing and the things like that. Look at the teams, Miami notwithstanding. Look at the teams, what they were doing before he got there. The Lakers were horrible. I think they had a 5-year stretch where they was the worst team in all the NBA. I mean, like combined total record. I mean, even worse than the Wizards. You know what I'm saying? You look at what Philly did. They had a first round exit this past season. They haven't won in 40-some years. They haven't won a championship. Haven't been to the finals since that AI team. Things like that. The Cleveland team hadn't won it forever. So he's coming there, and he should be like, all right, man, y'all come on, man. We're going to try and make this thing happen. I don't really necessarily have a problem with that. Like I use Tom Brady as an example. When he went down Tampa Bay, like, man, look, you got Gronk, come on, man, come down here with me.
Yeah.
What's the receiver name?
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. Like, man, come on. They made some
Dominic Sue.
Yeah, and Dominic. Right. You know what I'm saying? He put together a team that will help him win. The thing about you can say KD, right? Now I put KD in the ring chasing thing. His thing and LeBron thing to me is totally different. KD just lost 3-1. They was up 3-1 on Golden State. He joined them the very next season. He joined the best team, the best regular season team ever. The very next season, after having them on the ropes, up 3-1, and he lost, and he went mobbed up with them, won the championship. I think that's ring chasing, right? But I don't blame players. Here's another thing. I don't blame players for chasing ring, because at the end of the day, that's what you get judged by. Ring culture is real. Yep. Ring culture is absolutely real. No matter how people want to downplay it. Every time someone bring up Michael Jordan, they say he's 6-0. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. Then they get to his numbers. Then they get to his scoring titles. Then they get to the defensive player of the year. Then they get to all of that. But first thing they say is he's 6-0 in the finals. They said it about Michael Jordan. I very seldom hear somebody say Scottie Pippen is 6-0 in the finals. I very seldom hear people say, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The ring culture. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Well, this thing about, like, all right, look at Miami before LeBron got there. Look at Cleveland before LeBron got there. Like, if you're an artist, you want to be given a blank canvas, right? So I'm not even concerned, in my opinion, with how Chicago looked before Michael Jordan got there. When people talk about Chicago Bulls before Michael Jordan got there, they talk about that's like an afterthought. You know what I mean? Orlando Warriors, you talk about Trent Tunker and a lot of guys, you know what I mean, and some throwaway people. Not even, they mention that a little bit, but they not really say, well, look at what Chicago had when Mike got there. Mike is an artist. He took a blank canvas and he just made a masterpiece out of it, right? Same thing, people really don't talk about, and that's why it's so important. Like when these franchise guys get to a team, it's important for those guys to stay there and see what they can accomplish throughout their career. If you only win 2 championships like Isaiah did, people going to appreciate that, right? Like, your fan base going to love that because you gave everything you have. You brought 2 championships to the Detroit Pistons. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to have 6 like Mike. Larry Bird got 3, right? And so what Larry Bird did in Boston, man, that was amazing. His fan base know that Larry Bird gave everything that he had, right? And so we, as basketball fans, we was expecting the same thing for LeBron James. If you go somewhere, do the best you can do, build what you can build. You know, they saying you the chosen one. You King James, right? So show us what you can do in Cleveland. You know what I mean? If you only get 1 or you get 2, your fan, you could own that fan base because your fan base have they rode that ride with you and they appreciate that with you. That's all people are saying. Don't try to use the media and Clutch Sports and all this, and you got everybody touting that you to go and you all this, and then you doing things differently. At least give us that. At least admit that you did things differently than Magic, Mike, Bird, everybody else who was a franchise ball player throughout history.
You think LeBron did the fans a disservice by leaving Cleveland the first time? You think he did the fans a disservice? And the only reason I asked that, Mike, the only reason I asked that is like, LeBron was there 7 seasons before he left. He became a free agent. He never asked to be traded or anything. He finished out. He completed his obligation with that team and decided, like, yeah, man, I want a different job, so to speak. I want to go work for somebody else, right? We've all done it. We've all had jobs, man. Like, man, this job, man, is not fulfilling my needs, man. I'm gonna switch jobs, man. I'm gonna go work here. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that, right? Being a superstar, NBA player, and things like that, and kind of like what I don't want to put words in my mouth, like he let the fans down in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Like he let them down, and maybe he felt that way in a sense. That's why he went back and won, right? But when you're in the job, man, and you got a manager, a supervisor, in this case, an owner and a GM, who they're not helping you, you understand, do your job at the best of your abilities, right? I don't think sticking around would be the best thing for you, especially if he wanted a legacy, especially if we talk about ring culture being real. I think he's doing himself a disservice if he's not able to maximize everything he has in his tank to get a championship.
Well, let me respond to that, right?
Go ahead.
All right, so we all as grown men, we understand that life ain't fair, right? So when you think about number one, all right, if he's put in a position where he's dealing with ownership and management, and they don't put the right people around him, that's par for the course. You know what I mean? We seen a lot of great basketball players, guys and people that appreciate it, like Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, Dominique Wilkinson don't have a ring. But we can't take away from what they you know what I mean, like what they meant to the game, right? So like I said, if LeBron James did he cheat the fans? Yep, he cheated the fans and he cheated himself. And the way he cheated himself, in my opinion, is because he didn't ride that out. You know what I mean? Like if Larry Bird said when Magic Johnson beat them one year, he came back a better player the next year. He didn't try to go and team up with Charles Barkley, or he didn't call Dr. J and say, well, come on, man, let's go bust his ass. He didn't do that. You know what I mean? And so he came back a better player. Now, people said when LeBron James lost to the Spurs, right? They was like, they stopped LeBron James from penetrating, made him a jump shooter. And so they said, well, LeBron James needs to develop a back to the basket game. This was early in his career. LeBron James, like what, 16 years later, still don't have a back to the basket game. And so that's the thing, as a basketball fan, that's what you look for. You look for the maturation in that guy. And if he get to a point in his career like Jerry West did, and it took Jerry West 9 times to win a ring, right? But Jerry West fans, they seen how dedicated he was throughout the years, and they rooted for him to get a ring. He only got 1 ring out of 9 times, right? But don't nobody drag him. They bring it up, but he can't get dragged for that because he left everything out there on the court. They don't feel that same way about LeBron James. They feel like the load management, flopping, cherry picking, all that stuff right there, in my opinion, just really it feeds into it.
Well, some people feel that way and some don't. So
well,
let's
I mean, you can say that about every statement that you make.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say that. So I'm just saying, as far as the Cleveland fans, some of them probably do feel like he cheated them, and some of them may not feel that way. As far as the teams before he got there, LeBron just don't go there. He come with stuff. Yeah. When he went to Miami, he came with stuff. They assembled something great that made him a super team. When he went to LA, he brought AD with him. He brought stuff with him. When he saw Cleveland improving, when he was in Miami and Cleveland was improving, he went back and jumped on that. And then they brought in other players to make it what it was. So, so I can't say that LeBron makes these teams get over the hump. I say LeBron makes these GMs put things around him to make it efficient for him to win, which that's their job. They should do that.
Yeah.
As far as that go. As far as LeBron not having any maturation and stuff like that. Just because he didn't develop a back to the basket game doesn't mean his game didn't expand and grow. He just never developed that. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, I just use that as one example. Give me an example.
I understand, Mike.
Give
but
me
I'm
an
just
example
saying.
where his game grew at, though. Did it jump shot improve?
Yeah, his outside shot did improve.
Yeah, way better shooter than he once was.
Than he was when he first came in. That's true, Mike.
Yeah.
And also, let me say this. LeBron ain't Larry Bird. LeBron don't have the same mindset and engine and heart in him that Bird has. Bird had a desire to do something in Boston. LeBron's got a different desire. I can't knock him for it. I don't celebrate it, but I can't knock him for it.
And he had different opportunities that Bird never had because the way the system was different in the early mid 2000s than it was in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
And that gave him the opportunity to easily say, "Hey, I'm going to shop around." And guys, superstars didn't have necessarily that option back in the 80s. So we don't know.
They waited to get traded. I'm sorry, Clayton, but I'm saying the team said, "We done with you and we trade you away." Yeah. But go ahead, finish your point, Clayton.
Yeah, but to your point that you think that ring chasing is a real thing. It's a real thing to those who have bought into it. But for some, it's not a real thing. Some people just play because they love the game. Of course, they want to win, but they don't let the ring define their legacy. They don't let media and people define who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Mike brought up Jerry West, the logo. Yeah. Mike brought him up. He brought up Patrick. He brought up Karl Malone. That guy, even though Karl Malone did do ring chasing when he went to the Lakers and signed with Kobe and them, right? So the thing is, right? It is different. Everybody don't play for ring, right? But if you want to be mentioned as one of the greatest, if you want to be mentioned as one of the greatest, you gotta have them.
Not really. Not really.
You gotta.
Charles Barkley is mentioned as one of the greatest. He don't have one. That's not true.
Listen to me. It's we all love Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
But we all gonna say it's a difference between him and Tim Duncan. We're going to say that. We're going to say there's a difference. Now, we might like Charles Barkley more. But in the grand scheme of things, you got to say Charles Barkley was great, 20,000, 10,000, All-Star MVP, but you got to say, but he didn't win. That got to come on the resume as well. But he didn't win.
It don't have to.
Yes,
but it will. It don't have to, but it will.
If you're gonna tell the story of Charles Barkley or Patrick or any other of these greats that ever played top 50 players, that's gonna come with it. But he never won a championship.
Yeah, I'm just saying it will, but it don't have to. Like for me, it's not. If I compare Tim Duncan and Charles Barkley, I'm gonna say Tim Duncan had a better team. Point blank. That's it. But it ain't nothing else there to discuss.
You've been one of the. I give you this. You've been one of the consistent ones when it came with that. But most people aren't that way. And you got to admit that. Most people aren't that way. It's a
lot of people that's not that way. You're right. Because so many people have gotten brainwashed with this idea that championship creates the individual greatness. And it doesn't. It creates team greatness.
Right. Yeah, that's true. But man, that's
true. But see, like you say, Barkley don't have none. Patrick don't have any.
Right.
How many don't have
AI
don't have none.
You know what I'm saying? But
Elgin Baylor, going way back.
And you always talk about the cream of the crop, right? But then Mike just said LeBron only got 4.
I heard him.
I heard him. None, and then Mike said LeBron only got 4. You know what I mean?
Right. And I don't co-sign that statement, Tom. That's crazy to me.
I'm saying that in the context. I said only 4 in the context that I just believe that no matter what he say, he chasing Mike. Yeah. Right. You know, you can't have a 4-6 record in finals and then have 4 championships and then put yourself in the same conversation with Magic, and Kobe. You know,
well, I'm gonna say this.
not in my opinion.
Kobe was chasing Mike. He
Definitely.
openly admitted he was chasing Mike.
And Mike said he was chasing Magic and Bird. You know what I mean? He said he was competing.
Yeah, Mike was too. Right. Yeah. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying, regardless of the optics, and like I said, I'm not celebrating LeBron's career like others do. I think the man had a magnificent career.
LeBron?
Yeah, but as far as the optics go, it may look like he's chasing Jordan. I know he said, I'm the greatest of all time, which will put him in that conversation against Jordan. But Kobe specifically was chasing Jordan. He told Tracy McGrady, I'm better than him. I'm going to be better than him. He was chasing. He got 5 championships. He was 5-0. No, he lost one in the finals. But he got 5 championships.
He lost 2.
So he lost 1, didn't he?
No, Detroit and Boston.
Yeah, 2. Detroit and Boston, right.
Yeah. Well,
so so I'm just saying, LeBron, like, I'm not, I can't, whatever he's bought in. He's bought in, and that's his desire, and he's chasing rings. You can't say he's not chasing rings, Tom. He's chasing rings. And that's his prerogative to do it.
No, I say I don't call it chasing rings. Whether he's doing it or not, you know what I'm saying? I say I just don't call it that.
All right, what you call it?
Yeah, what I call it is put myself in the best situation to win. Because ring culture, not chasing, ring culture is real. So when you tell a story about LeBron, just like we do with Magic, just like we do with Bird, and all the other greats, we always going to bring up how much they won. We always going to bring that up. You know what I'm saying? So he wants to win as much as he possibly can.
Let me take you back to a point you made. You said if he already got a ring, he already got 4 rings, right? His legacy is cemented. So why keep chasing them if when they talk about you, you a winner? You got rings.
Right. Well, I say this, just like you said, I can't put myself in his head. I don't know why he's doing the things that he does. And I'm just talking about as somebody observing from the outside. I mean, like you say, if you don't have any and you bounce around, almost like what Gary Payton did when he was following Shaq for a minute. He was just following Diesel around to wherever he landed so he could win. I look at that as the ring chasing type thing. You understand? Even Karl Malone at the end of his career, like I say, signing with the Lakers when he had that so-called super team, you know what I'm saying? I call that ring chasing. His legacy at that time was already solidified, you know what I'm saying? Along with, getting a 13-year-old pregnant or whatever. So, both of those, his legacy is already, it's already, you know what I'm saying? But I call that ring chasing.
Stupid, man. But both of those guys got so close. So to me, at the end of their career, they had got to the finals, they lost. And I think at the end of their career, they just went to a situation to just finally try to taste that championship. You know what I'm saying? But LeBron has been on 4 different teams. It's a little different. It's a difference in that. And I'm going to say this.
He won everywhere,
right?
He won everywhere, right?
Yeah, he won everywhere. Okay. So this is what I want to say, though. When he goes to Philly, that makes them a super team. When Jaylen Brown went to Philly, my first thought was Philly is the favorite down in the East without LeBron. And when you add LeBron to that, to me, that is making it a super team.
Not me. I get what you're saying, but not me. Even with them getting Jaylen, I still didn't have him in front of the Knicks.
Okay.
I know a lot of people put them as the favorite once they got
Jaylen.
Jaylen Brown.
The odds, people look at this, people don't, you know what I mean? But the odds in Vegas, they was on par with Orlando when they signed him. I think it was like 60-1, something like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, but, and I think it's more so as given the Philadelphia 76ers credit, I think it's a knock for LeBron. Because it's like, it's set up like, oh man, look, he joined the super team again. He's joined the super team again. I didn't look at Philly, you know what I'm saying, with an always injured Embiid, and even with the sign of Jaylen Brown, once again, man, I'm a huge fan of, and Max, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know how much big Max. I still didn't look at that team as like, okay, they only a move or 2 away from getting to the finals or winning the championship.
And then they have a rookie that came on strong last year too.
Edgecombe.
Yeah.
Edgecombe.
Oh, yeah.
Come on now.
Right, but I still wouldn't put them up. Above
Because-
the Knicks. I wouldn't have put them above San Antonio. I wouldn't put them up there above OKC. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put them in that class. You know what I'm saying? I still don't. But even before,
I'm talking about in the East. In the East, I would put him up there. And I was rooting for the Knicks.
Without LeBron in the East, I still had them like top 3 in the conference without LeBron. You know what I'm saying? But that's still not saying they're a super team. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be better than Boston, and I want them to be better than Boston because I don't like how Boston did them.
Well, LeBron, how much did LeBron average last year?
22.
25.
It was 25. I thought it was 22.
22 points a game, I thought too. Honest Truth said 22.
Yeah.
Okay. So you add 22 points a game to that team, and his IQ and
That's
his
the thing,
facilitating ability.
Yeah. I mean, I think if
Joel
one thing,
Embiid, another Olympian, an All-Star, and Jaylen Brown, an All-Star. Come on, man.
So let me ask you this though, Clayton. So you're saying that to say they're a super team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
the media is definitely going to call them a super team.
Yes.
Yeah, man, bunch of idiots, man.
Yeah.
Bunch of idiots, man. I don't think they're a super team, man. I'm
gonna say this: if Philly don't win, it's gonna be an epic fail. Epic.
No way.
Yes. It's so much pressure. Let me tell you, man, it's so much pressure.
No way.
On Philly now.
No way.
That's going to be an epic. It might not be in your eyes, but with the media, you know how the media is. It's going to be an epic fail.
Well, and Tom, think about this: Philly media and Philly fans. That's
that's tough.
Yeah, that's
they're already expecting it, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, listen. I ain't saying that they shouldn't temper their expectations, even though I would. Their expectations are high. The Eagles just coming off a championship a couple seasons ago. You know what I mean? You think they due for another one and things like that. I just don't. If he can come, if LeBron comes as a third option and he averaged 18, 20 points, you know what I'm saying, a game as a third option, Maxey being the top dog, he would be my number one. And B, you know what I'm saying, the 27 games he'll play. You know what I mean? When Embiid playing the 27 and a half games he gonna play, man. I don't know, man. You know what I mean?
Embiid gonna give you at least 60 this year. Watch. 60 games.
Played 38 games this past season.
Watch him give you 60 games this year.
How many, Mike?
38.
Yeah.
He played 38. I think you really only need if LeBron is going to be the facilitator, I think you probably only need LeBron to give you about 15 to 18.
Yep.
15, 18.
Don't expect him to play no D. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say you got to temper these expectations a little bit. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna play no D.
But Jaylen Brown gonna play some D. Maxey gonna play. They gonna play some D.
No, LeBron. I'm talking about LeBron.
Yeah, but teams got away. Every defender on the court ain't a top tier defender. So yeah, they gonna be all right. Trust me. This 42-year-old LeBron. This ain't 27.
Yeah,
but he ain't the average 41, 42. We know that. Yeah. He's still playing like he in his prime, bro. He on that good stuff. He on that good stuff, so he on that good stuff.
I wouldn't say he playing like he in his prime because he don't affect the outcome of games like he did.
I disagree. Look at them in the playoffs, man. The first round.
Come
on, man. I disagree,
man. But I don't think he affect games like he did in this.
I don't either. I think all right. So the honest truth says that injuries will take out the stars during the season. How many big stars didn't even get a chance to play during the playoffs? OKC being one, right? And that's what I think you don't have to worry about injuries. We already know Joel Embiid probably gonna play like 30-something games. You
That's
know,
all he gonna get. That's all he gonna
Nah,
get. I
listen.
know you say 60, Clayton. That man, I wouldn't be. I
Listen.
over under on him is 35, man.
All right, LeBron signed, and immediately he took that team into workout sessions. He getting ready to start giving them that shit he taking. Trust me when I tell you. And B gonna give you about 50, 60 games this year.
Hey, look, Clayton,
Trust what I'm telling you.
Embiid's gonna start taking his Robitussin.
Yes.
Hey, Clayton, he gonna get hurt walking into the facility. They what he he gonna get hurt walking into the facility.
what y'all think about this? Smart Media bring up a good point that Philly will be deploying a zone. The point of attack defenders will be Brown, Edgecombe, and maybe Maxey. So yeah,
That makes sense.
will go. That's a good point. They probably will play a lot more zone, especially
That makes sense.
You want those guys, the older guys, to be around towards the end of the season.
Yes.
You know?
And does that allow Embiid less pressure? I mean, it preserves Embiid a little bit to maybe not put him in a situation where he gets hurt.
Yeah.
You gotta be real careful with him. You gotta be real, careful with Embiid, man. You gotta, because you want him there at the end of the season, going into the playoff.
Yeah.
And you want him as healthy as he can be. You know what I mean? So you gotta what you call it? Mike just said it. What is it called? Load management. You gotta load management. Yeah, you gotta load management throughout the season.
You might not let them play back-to-backs,
Right.
little things here and there and stuff. But did you guys see how he performed on that U.S. Olympic team and when he was around all those great players? He was motivated, man. He played better than I've ever seen him play. Man,
how was his minutes though?
Yeah,
like,
I can't remember that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You think he be dogging it sometime? Like he really don't be as injured as he might claim to be?
He lazy as shit. Yeah.
Man.
Yes, he lazy as shit. I watched him in person. He lazy. But when he got somebody on the floor demanding something, and trust me, LeBron could be 40-something, he could be joining that team. He still demands stuff.
Yeah.
He still demands stuff out you.
I agree with Smart Media Network. I think load management is to me, I don't think load management always work. I think it worked like with San Antonio, like one year when they had when they was doing that with Tim Duncan. But for the most part, I don't know how successful you can be when you load manage stars like that. Especially your star players.
Popovich, he the one that invented that load management.
Right, yeah, he did.
Yeah, Popovich the one that invented it.
Yeah, so that's
I'm still trying to see what's gonna happen with that whole Kawhi Leonard thing, man. I want to see if they gonna I want to see how that happens. Are they gonna try to suspend him? They gonna void his contract, because they now Adam Silver said the teams, because the investigation wasn't complete, both teams agreed to put the trade on hold. The investigation was complete. Right now, I don't know how much I believe that, but if the teams thought that maybe we should put this on hold, they must know that something about to happen. They must know, something about to come down the pipe that's going to affect, that's going to affect where Kawhi is with the Clippers. For Toronto say, all right, well, let's hold off. And then Clippers probably say, yeah, you're right, let's hold off to see. But I think they're going to get a slap on the wrist. They're going to give him a fine, and keep it pushing. Adam Silver, he's not like that. Adam Silver not like that. So.
I just can't see where Kawhi did anything wrong. I still can't see where Kawhi did anything wrong.
Because he didn't. That's why you can't see it, because he didn't. That's why. He ain't do nothing wrong.
He took what they gave him.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Joe Smith do the same thing and they penalized him too, though?
They killed Minnesota. They fined, they voided his contract. I think they took like 5 number 1 picks from Minnesota. Jim, you might can speak to them a little better than I can. They took like 5 first-round picks from Minnesota. They smashed Minnesota.
They cinched him.
And then they voided Joe Smith contract. So he was like a free agent. And they crushed them for it. But I guess I don't think Adam Silver gonna do it. They're gonna find the Clippers probably like $1,000. And you know what I'm saying? Like $1,000, give them a real hard tongue lash and send them an email with the with the big letterhead on it, you know.
Suspend someone in the office for 24 hours.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna lose. I think they're gonna lose some draft picks.
Shut
like that.
Down or something. You know what I mean? You can't spend facts for the next 12 hours. Some old bullshit. And I'm saying they shouldn't mess with Kawhi. I know that much. They shouldn't they shouldn't do nothing now. They shouldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
They shouldn't do nothing.
But I heard somebody try to say that his Uncle Dennis was demanding these things. I think Stephen A. said that, but even still, I can demand anything I want. They don't even gotta give it to me.
That's what I'm about to say, Clayton. He can demand, you know what I mean, the star and the moon. He can demand whatever.
Yep.
You can say no.
Yep.
You can say no.
It goes against league rules. I can't do it.
Right. Or we ain't got that much money under the cap to do it. And all that and this. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
All right, fellas. I gotta bounce.
Me too. Phone going dead. Yep.
Good.
LeBron James for president.
What you say, Clayton?
LeBron James for president.
Oh man, no, I ain't voting for that motherfucker. I ain't voting for that.
Ring chasing, Tonky, ring chasing.
Yeah, man. You know, because when his career over, Clayton, I know you don't do it, and that's fine. You've been consistent with it. But when his career over, you're gonna say, "Damn," but he only like my man Mike, like my dear brother Mike just said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mike is heavy on them rings. He heavy on that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real. It really is real, though, Clayton. It really is.
I'm not saying it ain't real. I'm just saying it ain't real to me. But
you're in the minority. Yeah, you're definitely in the minority when it comes to that.
Yeah. Well, even Charles Barkley said he don't get to sit at the same table with Mike and Magic and Bird. You know, he said, so
because it's real to Barkley. He human too.
That's right.
He got caught up too. Jordan got caught up. All them guys got caught up. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. You want to win, but how many rings and all that? You getting brainwashed with that shit. You want to win a championship, no doubt. But how many and the greatness and all? They're getting brainwashed. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, that's what you want, though, from you want that competition. Like I said, every time you run a race, you know what I mean? Like, if you got 10 people competing, 9 of them going to lose, right?
Yes.
But you want everybody to run hard. You know what I mean?
Let me clarify my statement. Your goal every year should be the championship. You want that. You want that drive. But because you don't get certain amount of rings more than somebody else, should not determine how great you was. That's my statement.
Yeah. Thanks for clarifying that for me, bro. Yeah. Thanks for clarifying.
Whatever, Tom. Whatever.
I understand it.
We've been doing this for a minute. I know when you slipping one in on me.
I'm really being sincere, bro.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are caught up in that ring culture, man. Yeah. People are, man. They really are. They really are. Yeah. But man,
you know how it is. You know how it is living in America, man. They brainwashed us all to some degree until we start coming up out of it. Come on now.
Yep.
Facts.
Yeah. So I appreciate it, man. I missed y'all last week, but I had a better time with my mama.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that went well.
Yeah, if Pauline watching this, I want to tell her happy birthday. And Mike, Bonky took he's in a bad accident.
Bonk, you say?
Yeah, he in a induced coma. It's real bad. It ain't looking good for him at all, man.
Oh wow. When did this accident happen, man? I'm sorry.
It's been happening it's been a minute now. It's been like a week or so. I got a phone call last Sunday when I was headed out. His cousin called me and told me. Yeah, so he was in ICU. They got him in a coma. Might be brain damage. It might be a lot of stuff. It's real bad.
Oh wow, damn! I'm sorry to hear that.
No, that's all good. Just thought I'd tell you that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yep. But y'all fellas, enjoy y'all Sunday, man. And Mike, you make valid points, bro. Not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know what though? I appreciate Because I mean, when we
I
push
love the
back on each
discussion.
other, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We all get something out of the conversation,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You know,
I love the discussion.
yeah, we all
Yeah,
get
you
something out
wise
of the
cat, man.
conversation.
You wise cat.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Likewise, man. Likewise,
Yep.
man. Have a good one.
All right, man.
All right.
And I
Appreciate
want
y'all.
that same smoke when the Sixers don't win it, Tom.
Yeah.
We gonna drag LeBron.
It's already happening. Look, it's already happening, and they ain't played the game yet. It's already happening. They ain't played. Listen,
To me,
LeBron can go to the PGA tour. He ain't get dragged. You know what I'm saying?
he put himself in a situation he can't win either way.
You're right.
If they win it, he gets no credit. And if they lose it, he gets dragged.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, y'all be good, man.
I appreciate Smart Media and the Honest Truth, man. They had like a little disagreement, but they handled it like men. Both of them said, you know what I mean, no disrespect, and you know,
That's
so
right.
that's what's up. I appreciate. That's
Oh,
what it's
and
like.
one more thing,
Go ahead,
Mike. Don't look now. Them fever coming.
Yeah.
Don't look now.
Man.
Those fever are coming.
That 11th best point guard in the league, she's on fire.
She on fire. She done found her stroke. Kelsey Mitchell on another level right now. They playing together. That's why I put that
It's all
video
love,
in there because it was talk they don't like each other. And that dude made a hell of a rap video. That was nice, man. But when she did that 45 and 10, she was leaning down. Kelsey was hugging her.
Yeah.
I got you, babe. Finish it off, man. I'm telling you, the fever, they finding their stride, bro.
I've been watching clips. I haven't watched
first
the
in the
whole game,
East.
but I watched it.
Yeah, they first in the East.
Oh, they number one in the East.
Yeah. Yep. But that All-Star game last night was trash.
Yeah,
I didn't even watch
the first
it.
few minutes and turned that shit off.
Yeah.
It was trash. They doing like the NBA. It was trash.
Yeah.
Angel Reese come down, man, real quick. She come down. Asia was trying to let her score. She moved out the way.
And I saw that, and she still got blocked.
And she still got it blocked. Angel come to the post office like, Angel wasn't supposed to do that. I was getting out the way.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to block no shot in the All-Star game. They laughed it off, though, but it was just it was just bad basketball, man. It was crazy. But anyway.
I don't know what they can do.
Huh?
I don't know what they can do to,
the All-Star games. Well, see, the good thing with them, the WNBA, every time it's an Olympic year, the All-Stars got to play the Olympic team, and that's where the competition coming at. So they'll get another good one when they get in the Olympic team ready. But that shit garbage. But yeah, y'all take it easy, man. I ran my mouth too much.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your week.
Have a good one. Great talking to you.
Right,
man, I appreciate Honest Truth. I appreciate Terrence Davenport. Let me see, Smart Media. Appreciate all y'all, man. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to tune in every Sunday at 11 a.m. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna check y'all out on the next podcast. Peace.